Hello guys, good to see you back. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about MySQL time functions. In our previous tutorials, we learned about MySQL date function. But in this tutorial, we are going to work with time functions. Here you can see all the time functions related MySQL. And in this tutorial, I'm going to cover up to microsecond function. So without wasting your time, let's start the practical. Here you can see I already start my XAMPP server and I also established my connection. And I'm going to start this tutorial with current time function. So I'm going to type select current time underscore time. Basically this function going to return server current time. For now we use localhost server, that's why it's going to return my local computer time. And also I'm going to take alias name for this column as time. So let's execute the code and see what it returned. So I'm going to click on the thunder icon. And here you can see the result. It's written current time. It's written 10 AM 43 minute 43 second. This is my system time. But whenever we upload our code into the server, then it's going to return the server time. Similarly, related to this function, we have another function, which is shorthand of this function, and the function name is cut time. If I execute this code, here you can see it's written current time once again. There is no difference between two functions. Similarly, we have another function related cut time, which is current timestamp. Let me show you. Current underscore timestamp. We need to remove 1 hour from this current. If I execute this code, here you can see it's written time with current date. And we have another function similar to this function, which is local time. Let me show you. So I'm going to type local time. This function also return local current date and time. If I execute this code, here you can see the result. Our next function is local timestamp. So after time, I'm going to type stamp. It also return current date and time. If I execute this code, here you can see the result. Our next function is time function. Let me show you. This function going to return a time from particular date. So we need to pass a date as a parameter. So inside the parentheses, I'm going to take a date with time. So first, I'm going to type a date 2021. 7 month, and the date is 21. With that, I'm going to take a time 14 hour 12 minute 30 second and 008 millisecond. So if I execute this code, it's going to return time only. Here you can see it. It's return only 3 format time. That's why first it return hour, then minute, and then second. And if you want to see the hour from this date and time, just you need to type hour here. If I execute this code, you can see the result. It's written 14. Similarly, if you want to see the minute, just you need to type minute function. If I execute this code, you can see the result. It's written 12 minute. And similarly, if you want to see the second, just you need to type second here. If I execute this code, you can see the result. It returned 30 second. Similarly, you can extract microsecond from this time. So I'm going to jump into our next function, which is time diff. Let me show you. So I'm going to type time diff. In this function, we pass 2 time as a parameter. And this function going to return difference between 2 time. So I'm going to pass 2 time as parameter. So our first time is 15 hour 54 minute and 32 second, and our second time is 13 hour 44 minute 21 second. And also we need to move this time inside the double quote. So if I execute this code, here you can see the difference between 2 time is 2 hour 10 minute and 11 second. We basically use this function to extract the time difference between 2 times. So this is it for the tutorial. In our upcoming tutorial, I'm going to cover these remaining functions: addtime, subtime, maketime, time format, second to time, time to second, etc. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for our next tutorial. This is the second part related MySQL time function. And in this tutorial, I'm going to cover the remaining functions. I'm going to start our tutorial from addtime function. So without wasting your time, let's start the practical. So finally, I'm back to my MySQL Workbench application. And first, I'm going to use addtime function. So I'm going to remove timedep function and I'm going to type addtime. Basically, using addtime function, we can add times with existing time. With existing time, we need to pass an interval. Let me show you. So as parameter, I'm going to pass a date and a time. 2021, August month, and 23rd day. With date, also I'm going to pass a time. 13 hour, 32 minute, 20 second, and 0.1 microsecond. With this time, I want to add 1 hour, 00 minute, and 00 second, and 0.5 millisecond. If I execute this code, here you can see the result. It add 1 hour with our existing time. Now our new time is 14 hour, 32 minute, 20 second, and 0.6 millisecond. With that, if you want to add with this date and time, yes, you can. Just you need to pass 2, then a space. If I execute this code, here you can see our new date is 25 August. So using addtime function, you can add new date and time with our existing time. Similarly, we have another function which is play the opposite role of this function, which is subtime. Let me show you. So I'm going to type subtime here. Subtime means subtract time. If you want to minus some times for the existing time, in that case you need to use subtime function. If I execute this code, here you can see our new date is 21st August because it subtract 2 days from our date, and also is subtract 1 hour 5 microsecond from this time. That's why it's written 12 hour 32 minute 19 second 9999 and 6 microseconds. Our next function is make time. So I'm going to type make time. Using make time function, we can create new time. For this, we need to pass 3 parameters. So I'm going to pass these 3 parameters. And our first parameter is hour. So I'm going to pass 14 hour, 21 minute, and 32 second. So if I execute this code, it's going to return a new time. As you can see, our time is 14 hour, 21 minute, and 32 second. And remember, you need to follow the sequence. First you need to pass hour, then you need to pass minute, and then you need to pass seconds. Our next function is time format. Let me show you. Time underscore format. In this function, basically we pass a format which can MySQL understand. Let me show you. 14 hour, 32 minute, and 33 second. Our MySQL understand this kind of time format. And now you want to see the hours from this time. For this, you need to pass a second parameter. And inside the second parameter, we need to pass a format. And for hour, we need to pass percentage capital H. So if I execute this code, here you can see it's written 14. So using time format function, we can extract exact time you want. You can extract hours, you can extract minutes, you can extract seconds and millisecond also. MySQL provide lot of time formats like hour. Let me show you the list. Here you can see a time 5 hour 32 minute 28 second and 00 millisecond. And it is a evening time, that's why I use PM value. Basically, we divide our time in 4 format: hour, minute, seconds, and microseconds. Meridian is not a format, but we can declare AM PM using it. So let's start with hours. To show hours, we have total 4 different formats: small h, capital H, small g, and capital G. If we use small h time formats, it's going to return 12-hour time format, but it's going to add 0 before the single digit. Suppose for 1 hour, it's going to print 01. For 3 hour, it's going to print 03 hour. And if you want to show the 24-hour time format, you need to use percentage capital H. It's going to return time from 00 to 23. And also it's going to return 0 before the single digit. And if you use small g, it's going to return 12-hour time format. But it don't going to print 0 before the single digit time. It's written 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. Similarly, if you don't want to show 0 in 24-hour time format, you can use %Z. And for minute, we have only one time format, %I. It's going to return result from 00 to 59. And for seconds, you need to use s. It's going to return result from 00 to 59 once again. And then come microsecond. For that, you need to use %f. It's going to return result between 00000 from 99999. It's always written 6-digit value. So let's see how we can use this format practically. First, I'm going to change the hour in our parameter. I'm going to use 9 hour. And then I'm going to execute this code. Here you can see it's written 09 hour. But there is no 0 before the 9. And if you want to return result without 0, in that case you need to use Z. If I execute this code, now with hour I want to show seconds, not the minutes. So I'm going to use %s. If I execute this code, you can see the result. First it returned 9 hour, then it returned 33 seconds. So using time format function, you can return any kind of time format result. If you want to show minute first, yes, you can. Just you need to pass %I. If I execute this code, you can see the result. First it returned 32 minutes, 9 hour, 33 seconds. And if you want to print any separator, yes, you can. Just you need to pass hyphen between these formats. If I execute this code, you can see the result. You can use dot here, slash, etc. And once again, I'm going to change our value and I'm going to pass 14 here. And now I want to show meridian with this time. So I'm going to type %p. If I execute this code, you can see the result. As you know, after 12 hours, it's written PM. That's why for 14 hours, it's written PM. So basically we use this function to improve our readability. Our next function is time to sec. So I'm going to type time to second. Here we need to pass a time and it's going to convert this time into a second. If I pass this time and then run this code, here you can see it calculate and return the seconds of this time. Similarly, we have opposite function related to this function, which is sec to time. Let me show you. Sec to time. As a parameter, we need to pass second and it's going to return the time. So I'm going to pass 47,234. If I execute this code, here you can see it's written 13 hours, 7 minutes and 14 seconds. So using this function, we can convert seconds into a time. And also we can convert time into a second. So I hope now the time function concept is clear for you. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for our next tutorial.